Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. If you guys are here for the very first time, I'd like to welcome you here. Or if you are a returning visitor, I want to thank all you guys for your continued participation here on the channel. In gaming news this week, we were kind of anticipating some word out of Infinity Ward regarding the new Battle Royale, but nonetheless, I did go ahead and create a video up here in the top right-hand corner that kind of discusses the topics that many people were kind of prognosticating about or guessing would potentially be the time or the date when we would get more information about Battle Royale. But nonetheless, guys, be sure you check out that video. This Tuesday, March the 3rd, was Super Tuesday here in the United States. This is marking the primaries as the Democrats continue to vote on who they want to be their candidate in the 2020 election. Now, leading up to Tuesday, we saw that Steyer had dropped out, as well as Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg. Now, when Amy and Pete dropped out, they did endorse Joe Biden, so it does look like the wagons are being circled around Biden. Now, out of the 14 states, Biden did manage to win 9, and Bernie ended up winning pretty decently in Vermont, which he had to win, as well as in California. And as of this recording, we have just learned that Mike Bloomberg has dropped out after having spent over $500 million, proving once again that you cannot buy the candidacy of the president, or at least Mike was going to try. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because there was a lot of discussions on there being a possible convention that was going to be contested, and then requiring a brokered deal to determine who was going to win. Because if, say, for example, Bernie were to continue to succeed, or Bernie had won, maybe more states than he did, and he was kind of neck and neck with Biden, and they're talking about letting the delegates decide who it's going to be, and then Bernie ends up going to the convention, then all of a sudden you're going to have an issue, because the Democrats do not want Bernie Sanders to be the candidate. Because at this point, it may be fair to say that there isn't really any strong candidate, but Bernie would be the least candidate to succeed against Trump as far as the statistics and his message, and the fact that he is an admitted socialist. So despite the excitement that Bernie was generating in the beginning, sometimes you do have to kind of stick around to see what's going to happen. But it would appear that the Democrats are kind of circling their wagons around Biden, and he's going to be their 77-year-old racehorse. Now think about that for a moment. Biden is 77 and Bernie Sanders is 78, having had a heart attack. And there was a lot of discussion, you guys may recall, about the Democrats and or at least the progressives and the left saying that we should have a cutoff date for ages to vote. Yet here you have Bernie Sanders at 77 and Joe Biden at 78. Well, these guys are running for president. And it is interesting to think that when it comes to the left, when it comes to progressives, their least favorite people are old, rich, white men. And the lead right now, all of the candidates in the lead right now, even if you include Elizabeth Warren, who has not dropped out yet, are all white. But nonetheless, it will be interesting to see if it had gone to a contested convention, because we know that the Democrats do not want Bernie to be the candidate. So let's say, for example, he had gotten it, and was in the lead with delegates, and it was a contested convention. No doubt the superdelegates would be pulled out. The varsity team superdelegates, who are really just there to kind of, be there as an insurance policy in case something like a Bernie Sanders were to happen. And then, of course, at that point, they would then, select Biden. Or it would have been Bloomberg had he not dropped out today, perhaps. But nonetheless, had it been contested, it would have been very interesting to see if the superdelegates would have to come out and then, of course, throw Bernie under the bus, which is eventually going to happen, because you don't have to be a prognosticator. You don't have to be an expert in this field to kind of see the ebb and flow of what's going on, plus the results of 2016. But nonetheless, it looks like the Democrats have now decided that Biden is going to be their man. So now we'll just have to see how he, continues to succeed with it. And sometimes Biden doesn't even know what state he's in, and his ability to articulate, his ability to communicate often is a bit jumbled and disconjointed. And this is before he even decided to get into the race. This is like when he was the vice president. This is why you didn't see him as much as vice president during the Obama administration, because it just his, people talk about his gaffes, but the man will sit there and start talking and almost forget what he's talking about, or he'll go off into a different subject. And then, of course, you have the whole touchy-feely Sleepy Joe, which is, obviously Creepy Joe. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for you guys. Typically, I want to just kind of jump in here about the primary when it's very important, and Super Tuesday was one of those important dates, so we'll definitely discuss it when important events like that happen, particularly since Bloomberg has also dropped out of the race. But you guys can find additional information that I will link below this video down there for you guys to investigate and or look into yourselves. As of this recording here on Friday, the president is here in Atlanta to visit the CDC. Of course, he is here to discuss the illness that we cannot mention here on YouTube. Otherwise, our videos will be demonetized and suppressed, unfortunately. But we will dedicate some time to it at some point, and we'll just have to just kind of eat the demonetization and even the suppression. But of course, if you guys do follow the Friday vlog each Friday, you guys will know that if the discussion comes up about this particular illness, you guys will be able to watch it. But he will be here in Atlanta on Friday, and Friday traffic in Atlanta is an absolute nightmare. It starts about 11 a.m. and goes to about 8 o'clock at night, and then it picks up again as the people go out to enjoy the evening around 10 o'clock at night until 3 a.m. on Sunday, which is kind of the joke about when the traffic finally dies down. But nonetheless, guys, I did want to just kind of mention that to you, that he will be here in Atlanta. I will be interested to see what he has to say, because of course there is a lot of news and information fluctuating about it, particularly how it's being politicized too, which is very unfortunate. But nonetheless, I did want to mention it, and I will put some additional information down in the published section. I don't know whether or not those links will create an issue for the video, but I'll put the links down there just to kind of see what it will do. But nonetheless, yeah, so the president will be here on Friday, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. I want to thank all you guys for your continued support here on the channel. And of course, appearing right there on the screen, that would be the obligatory icon that you can click on to subscribe, along with notifications. And if you guys are following on BitChute and DTube, I would ask you guys to give me a follow there as well. And I will see you guys right there behind the camera next week.